Charles Hatley with Melone Hatley PC. We're not only your partner through the divorce process, but we're your partner after the divorce process. Today what we're going to talk about is spousal support and what happens if you have to pay spousal support. So one of the things we see a lot, somebody calls in and says, look, I make a lot more money than my spouse. I'm worried about how much money I'm going to have to pay in spousal support. What we do is we start working with you right away. First thing you need to do is you need to understand what types of spousal support there are. There's temporary spousal support, there's lump sum spousal support, and there's permanent spousal support. If you come to an agreement, you can agree to a lump sum spousal support. That means instead of paying you $1,000 a month for 12 years, I'm going to pay you a total of $144,000 in one lump sum. Same amount of money, but that's just a lump sum payment. The other is permanent spousal support. Permanent spousal support can be spousal support that lasts forever, and there's two types of permanent spousal support. You have modifiable and non-modifiable permanent spousal support. Modifiable simply means that it can last forever, but that you can modify the amount down to zero. So it can really be, I owe you $0 a month from now until the day one of us passes away. Non-modifiable spousal support means you owe X number of dollars for this many months, non-modifiable. It's very, very rare to see permanent spousal support that's non-modifiable. If anybody ever suggests to you that you should pay permanent spousal support that's non-modifiable, my advice is get a second, third, or fourth, or fifth opinion. The other type of spousal support is temporary spousal support, and that's both modifiable and non-modifiable. So what we do sometimes when we're trying to come to an agreement, we will agree to temporary spousal support that's non-modifiable. So it'll be a less term than what you would have received in court. So if we think that you'd have been paying spousal support for 6 years if we went to court, but the other side's willing to agree to 3 years, we'll agree to make it non-modifiable for the benefit of paying 3 less years. However, if you generally go to court, you'll get a specific term that's not permanent, it's temporary for like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but it will be modifiable. The next thing you need to understand, what is truly modifiable? Modifiable is spousal support that you can change anytime there has been a substantial and material change in circumstance since the entry of the last order. It's a lot of words, but what it simply means, if one spouse's income goes way down or the other spouse's income goes way up and spousal support would be wildly different now, you can petition the court to modify the amount of spousal support to be paid. The second thing is putting together an actual need for spousal support. All too often, we get people that come into the office and say, hey, I talked to so-and-so, they ran the spousal support calculator, this is how much I want to be paying in spousal support. Spousal support calculator is a wonderful guideline. It is not used as a rule. And as we continue to evolve in our understanding of spousal support and alimony, the court's really evolving in what is required for the other side to get spousal support or alimony. So rather than just being based on a numerical formula, the court's starting to look at the need of the parties. So it is numerically possible that one party could have to pay the other party $300,000 a year in spousal support if you follow just the basic guidelines. However, not very many people need $300,000 in spousal support. Conversely, you could have a situation where the other party would only qualify for $500 a month in spousal support, but because of all the obligations that the family has put on that person, may actually need $1,500 in spousal support. So the need-based component is very important. And the way that you get that is you add up all the expenses and the liabilities and everything that is part of the monthly obligations of that particular person. The third thing, and probably the most overlooked thing that we come across when trying to decide spousal support, is how are assets going to be divided after the divorce? So spousal support can be awarded at 2 different points during the divorce. It can be awarded on a temporary basis, on a temporary motion, a pendente lite motion, and can be awarded through the final decree of divorce. If it's awarded through the final decree of divorce, a lot of people will make the mistake of not taking into account the assets that are going to be divided between the parties. They want to calculate spousal support first. However, in a situation, if you have a military pension, if you have any other sort of retirement where the lower earning spouse is going to get a portion of that retirement, you should not be worrying about calculations of spousal support until you've calculated how much each side is going to be getting each month once those assets are divided. This becomes much more complicated formula than just, hey, I'm going to go to this guideline and I'm going to plug in these numbers. It has to be, hey, this is how much assets you're going to have after the divorce, and this is what we're looking at getting. This can apply to retirement accounts. It can apply to large bank investment accounts. It can apply to equity in homes, where we see equity raise into 7 figures. It's really going to change the financial situation of the parties. There are other very important ways that we can look at your spousal support calculations and work to make sure that you're not overpaying. But the most important part is you need to work with an attorney that's going to work with you, that's going to try to achieve your goals, that's going to be your partner through this process. And that is Melone Hatley, PC.